working on it.
Yeah, no, you're great. It's amazing. And we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 20-minute Tuesday live. I'm Natalie Colorido, the founder of Happy Healthy Women. And today I am joined by literally like a woman that I just adore beyond words, the amazing Andra Wochesen. Andra is well, first off, she is an energetic business and income coach. She is an incredible coach, and she is also a trailblazer in our Toronto West branch. Andra, I have to say, is one of the veterans of Happy Healthy Women. She's been with us quite a long time, and she is just such an incredible addition to our leadership team. So thank you, Andra, for being here. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Yeah, thank you for having me as always. Always love to be here and connect with you.
My pleasure. And today we are talking about what I know that many business owners and female entrepreneurs, especially in our community, can certainly align with. And that is the energetics behind business and behind the flow, and behind the abundant income that many of us want to be earning. And so, we're going to have a chat around this. And so, Andra, what inspired you to want to talk about this today? I know that this is predominantly what you coach on and what you help women entrepreneurs with. So share a little bit more with me on that.
I think partially it's such a innate piece of me and my purpose and my passion. And then I also feel really strongly about it lately. So because really strategy is hugely important. Outer actions, like you cannot create in 3D if you don't take actions. So it's never about like you just meditate and visualize and things come into your experience. So I'm very not of that mindset, but I really am so passionate about how we can actually create much more flow by just making that inner work a priority, or that inner awareness of what's happening within us can allow the actions that we take to be much more amplified and much more beneficial and much quicker, more exponential results and much more flow, right? And less push and less just less effort. And nothing is easy. Again, I don't like that word. Like I'm just going to sit here and visualize, and it's all going to drop into my lap. That's not true at all. Like, and
Right.
as we all know, not even close to being true.
Yeah.
But we can actually expedite the process, right? If we are really aware. And so I'm just really passionate about it. Yeah, obviously it's my area of expertise, but I just really feel a need to own it for myself and for everybody who's out there, and understanding that it's actually super valuable, right? It's really
Mhm.
important to be focusing on this inner shifting because the outer results are going to come a lot quicker for you.
Totally. I totally agree. And um, I love what we're talking about, because I think there's a misconception with, women entrepreneurs that are very aligned with their purpose, and that they've done so much work on that alignment and the meditation piece, and the holistic perspective, from getting into a good feeling place. I think there's a misconception that they don't know anything about strategy. And then I
Mm-hmm.
also think that, those who are like focused and on, into the strategy and making it happen, aren't aligned, right? Like, so
Mm-hmm.
talk to me about this, sort of like this, in terms of what you're talking about, in terms of like getting there, with that inner feeling. What are some of the things that you mean, like in terms of the inner shifts, that we can be experiencing?
Yeah, sure. And I love that you just said that, right? It's so like on not labeling and not judging and being who we are, being on the path that we're on, and then growing ourselves in whatever area we need to, right? Some of us need to grow more in strategy, and some people need to grow more in inner, right? So it's totally for you to check in with yourself. And so that number one, I would say, is check in with yourself. Basically, how much flow do you have in your life and business? Like that is, I know flow is used a lot. I'm going to use the word super flow a little bit because I feel like that's a really great state to be able to get ourselves into. And so, yeah, that can look like, do I feel aligned? And it can also be like, am I taking action, and am I getting fluid results, right? Am I actually getting results to come back? So I think the first piece is always that awareness, and that I don't know, I guess honesty with yourself about what actually is working well for you and what is not working well for you. So I think I just wanted to acknowledge that piece that you just said there.
Mm,
And then in terms of like how we do that, I think, yeah, I'm going to use, if I can, just this idea of super flow. And so, because it's kind of this state that we can get ourselves in, and it is the state, really, it's actually a very present state. And what that means is, yes, we're fully present to the moment and present to whatever we're doing, present to ourselves, and actually in the present of like not bringing in our past stuff, whatever that is. We can talk about that if you want. And it's not bringing in this future fear piece or anticipation piece. It's actually just allowing yourself to be fully in the moment. And in that moment, and yeah, I mean, we can talk about how to get there, but it's really that moment that creation kind of comes through us. So whether that's aligned inspiration or whether it's creative ideas, whether it's the impetus to act on something bold, right? Or it, yeah, so that is our state that I believe is the ultimate state to get to as often as you can, right? So ideally we want to live in that state, but I'm also a big fan of knowing that we have ebbs, and the bigger the ebb we have, sometimes the bigger the flow we have, right? So it's not about trying to always be like perfectly aligned, and if you're not, then forget it, nothing's working. In fact, some of those really tough moments are actually the fuel to sort of propel us forward.
love it, love it. So what I'm hearing is that the more in the flow we can get, and we're going to talk about how. I'm going to definitely ask you about that. The better it is for all areas of our lives, right? And so, and including our businesses and our income. So, what are some of the before we talk about the how we get into that state? What are some of the things that you have seen? And obviously, like you're an income coach, so you've seen this work for many of your clients. How does this affect us in terms of our business? The more we're in that flow, the more we're in that positive, I want to say positive state or the super flow that you mentioned. Yeah, how does that affect our results?
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it affects, depending on wherever you are, it's going to impact. So for some people, it's like all of a sudden they are really connected to themselves. So they're taking actions that they um, don't normally take, right? Because there's all this other stuff around the fear. What will people think? I don't know how to do this. I've never done this before, all of that kind of stuff. So they're out there taking bigger, bolder actions, being seen, being more visible. And, again, the result, the money flow piece is just a result of all of that, right? So we're talking about flow right now and really understanding that money is just an extension of flow, right? Money is just an extension of ourselves. It's not a separate entity. It is, but it's not, right? And so when we separate it and compartmentalize it, we actually lose the flow of what we're meant to do. So part of this flow is, and so that's one of the big. It's not like you line yourself up again, money falls out of the sky, but it's like you are then taking more aligned actions. You're putting yourself out there. You're collaborating more. You're raising your prices. You're comfortable. Asking to be paid, you're owning your worth, right? All of these things allows the container, which is your business, to allow the flow of money to come through you, right? And so, yeah, so that all of these things, you can be people. I see clients who are like, really don't even want to do a Facebook Live, and then all of a sudden they're up on a stage or they're on a big platform, right? And so all of that allows for an increased flow of experiences, opportunities, people, and then money, right? As a result of all of these pieces.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost as though, not almost, it is as though when we get into that super flow, and maybe we can talk a little bit about practicing getting into that
Mm,
because it's not going to always happen. All like we're not going to decide, okay, I'm going to jump into this, and tomorrow for the rest of my life it'll be great. We're
mhm,
gonna it takes work, but to it's as though everything like for example, people that bothered us before don't bother us anymore, right? Like
mhm,
things in our lives that were issues start to not be issues anymore, right? They just kind of fall by the wayside, and we enter into this higher realm, this higher purpose. Am I
mhm.
right on this part?
Awesome. Yeah, totally great, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so talk to me then about how, and I guess, yeah, tying in the fact that this is a work in progress,
Mm,
right? Because I think that so many of us, will start to work on this, and then we'll have a day where we're just like, Yeah, not good, not in my flow. And so talk to me about the process and how, a few ways that we can do this.
Yes, I so love, I think that is maybe the piece that I'm so passionate about, because I think a lot of times we will work on this stuff for like 10 minutes and then expect it to change our lives, or right, or we'll do a couple of affirmations or whatever it is, or whatever you choose to do. It's all good. But it's a constant, right? It's like you get a marketing strategy, you don't apply it just once, right? If you, right, it's like you have to continually do this work. So I think, and I don't even like the word work because then it feels like work, but but it's to me it's conscious and it's intentional, right? We actually make this intentional choice, just like we make the intentional choice to market, to do whatever we're doing. This is actually equally important. And so I think, yeah, there's going to be days where we can't access flow, and I think allowing some compassion and allowing yourself to be where you are on any given day is great. And maybe don't, still take action, right? We don't want to just close or shut ourselves down, but take action that you can take in that moment. Maybe have a list of stuff, right, that you can then take. Maybe it's not your big inspired idea, right, because it's not going to work as well if you're not in flow. um, and so I think, right, there's that, to me it's this continual piece of really daily work, right? There's like the deeper work, which is obviously the work that I do, which is, I'm not going to get into that too much, but we do have some deeper stuff that sometimes needs to be uncovered and moved through us, right? And so I feel like that is an important piece for people to be aware of, however you do that, or like understanding how some of the subconscious stuff is really driving you. And then it becomes this daily practice of making sure that you are basically present, right? So that's the first step, is notice anything that is not, I'm going to call it blocks, obstacles, right? The whole idea of flow, if we had like little rocks in our way, right, that is blocking our flow. So your first job is to clear away the rocks, right? And so that can take a couple minutes, it can take an hour, do whatever you need to do. It doesn't have to be in the morning only, it can be throughout your day, but it's really just making, like, am I present to this moment? Is my mind somewhere else right now? Am I worried about something coming up? Am I judging someone right now? Any of these sort of low level energies, that's our job to clean up, right? And so that's, I guess, what I feel really strongly about. It's our job to make sure that we clean that up. And so that we can then come to the present moment, which is where we create our future without the baggage, right? It's like if we bring the baggage is just going with us into the future. So that's the first step, is really understanding that piece. Again, it doesn't have to be arduous, but it has to be intentional and conscious, right? It really is our work to clean up what we need to clean up, right? Most of us, I think, we're all evolving, but especially in this community, we really want to continue to up level. So that's the first piece. And then once you have that non-attachment, then you can be in this state of flow where you're then accessing something that's bigger than yourself, right? And so whatever you want to call that, it can be just your higher self, it can be God, source, universe, spirit, earth, whatever it is for you, your vision, right? So you can actually access vision, right? And so then you're kind of in this place where you're kind of bringing in this intentionality of what it is that you want to create from your highest self, right? And so when you're there, that is when all of these ideas and inspirations and actions come to fruition.
Love it, love it. So I was so in, I was so like intensely in tune to what you were saying that I'm like, okay, yeah. Um,
That's,
So talk to me then about you and how you assist people along this path. Like you coach people obviously through this, and you have. Do you do a group? Do you do group coaching as well? Do you do one-on-one sessions? I know I kind of know the answer because you have coached me. So for anyone who's watching, she's incredible. I recommend highly. But talk to us about how you help people through these processes, Andra. Those who are finding trouble getting there on their own for right now.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, I really do work one on one. It is in the back of my mind to do kind of like a high level mastermind. So that is actually sort of in the works in my brain anyway.
Yeah.
I'm fully, I'm
Now
being,
it's
yeah,
out there. Now
yeah,
it's out there. What's
it's out
happening?
there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and because I really am inspired. I love working with any level entrepreneur, but I really love working with mid to high level entrepreneurs. Really, people who are impacting many people, and I love being that support for that. And so that's why I love the one-on-one, to hold a container of support, right? And so really, to me, it's all about this release and then expansion. The whole way I do my programs and packages really are. I have a whole new one I've just created actually called the Recode Method, which is to recode your energetic money blueprint. So that's like the full shebang. It's kind of like everything I've got, I throw in there. But really, it's about kind of uncovering the stuff that you maybe don't know is blocking you, right? Really have and finding a way to release that. Lots of ways in which we can do that. Finding a way that you can actually be in consistent flow within your business, and then taking those, applying that into action, right? So all of this stuff is not. It is all about translating what happens within you into your outer world, right? So it's like getting you out in a bigger way, having you speak to more people, growing your platform, raising your prices, right? And so all of these things, right? There can be things that are holding us back from doing that. Some of it can be conscious, and some of it can be subconscious. So a lot of it is kind of uncovering that, working through that, and then getting into that more expansive super flow state, right? So that's that whole idea that we sort of build, we release and shed what is no longer serving. And I know that's very coachy, but it is what it is. That's what that's what I do, right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
kind of lose that stuff, which is baggage, which is stuff mostly that's not even ours, right? It's just stuff that we are carrying around, and it just makes our journey a little slower and a little harder, right? So we got to let that go, and then we can actually open for some new ideas, creative opportunities, possibilities to show up. And then it's about then having the courage to step into those. And so a lot of the work is then like, okay, now that we have flow and we have actions, go do them, right? And then let's see the results that kind of come back from that. So that's
yeah.
my passion really, is to kind of take people through a fairly deep process, and fairly comprehensive. But I feel like it's really powerful, and I know it's long lasting. That's what I love about it, right? It's not coming back, whatever, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I equate it to almost like taking off the blindfold. Like you can
Mm,
be moving through life and working your business and working so hard and, taking time to bang your head against the wall some days because it's just not working. And then some days it is working. But what you really help us do is remove that blindfold and see it from an expansive, abundant state. And then, yeah, shed that baggage and just move forward with, like, free flowing goodness coming our way.
mm.
So I love it. I think what you do is awesome, and you're incredible at it. So I just want to add your website here so that people can find you. So it's awakenyourinspiration.com.
.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks.
And where else can people find you?
Well, I'd awaken your inspiration on Instagram. And I have my Facebook group, which is kind of fun, where I do a lot of interactive activities. That's Prosper Through Your Purpose. Yeah.
Awesome. Prosper Through Your Purpose is the Facebook group, and Awaken Your Inspiration on Instagram, and awakenyourinspiration.com. So can people just go on and book a session with you on your website, Andra?
It's so you for sure. There's something called Purpose and Prosper session, but this new energetic blueprint kind of thing, if that is speaking to you, I haven't. I'm in the process of updating website stuff, so it's actually not on there. So if you're interested, message me and I'll send you the direct link
Yeah.
to book that with me if you're
Yeah.
interested. Yeah.
Awesome. And you're all over Facebook. So reach out to Andra, find her, message her, touch base with her. She is amazing. And she's also, I'm not sure what events you have coming up in Toronto West. I'm sure there's something for people to tap into as well. But right now, it doesn't matter where you are, you can find it because it'll be online. Yeah. Anything else you want to share, Andra? Any parting words?
I think it's just to really tie into, I know what we're both so passionate about is really having people connect to their deepest selves and really like thrive through their purpose in whatever way that looks like, in whatever way feels authentic to you, right? It doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't have to be about impacting millions, but it's about really having a chance to really connect to who you are, what your gifts are, to be able to share those gifts and to be able to have a lifestyle that supports you. And so I know we're both so passionate about this, and you've created this community that really allows people to have a platform to be able to do that. And so I love that connection that we have that's so deep and so meaningful, and what we both are all about. So I just wanted to finish with that piece.
Thank you. Love it too. Alignment to the max. And yeah, again, for anyone who is looking to feel as aligned and feel so passionate and feel so purposeful, and move forward with abundance and joy and freedom, touch base with Andra because she can certainly help you get there. So thank you, Andra, for taking part in our community, for being a leader, and for being part of today's 20-minute live. I appreciate you so much. And yeah, let's just all have an amazing rest of our day.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.